There we go. We are live. If everybody can give me a 5x5, you can see and hear us. Let me know. Well, it's just the two of us to start out with, and I think Jen and Nadi will probably be a little late coming in.
Yep.
I think they're partying, personally.
They might be. They might be on a different plane than us, possibly. Never know.
Well, Spirit's here. My nose is itching again.
That's good.
Yeah,
actually, it hasn't popped up on my phone yet. Oh, there it is now. There it is.
What's that?
There's like a 10-second delay on these things.
Oh yeah, that's
and it's getting longer. It seems.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they
It
found
used to be just a couple seconds. Now it's like 10.
They found
anyway,
us.
Jen and Nadia will be here shortly.
I am.
We got our 5x5.
Great. I'm going through and starring.
Yeah.
At the moment. Any questions that have been put in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
The copy pages for both Jen and myself are at the beginning.
Yeah, I posted them earlier. I can post again.
Okay.
Get that real quick. Take care of some of this housekeeping.
So far, all I see are just one question.
What?
That's what I say. What? Yeah.
Okay, there's Dennis. There's Jen.
Yeah.
And let's check your coffee page. Refresh. Nothing there.
Tosca is baking snickerdoodles for us, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. My wife loves them.
Yeah, but I can't have too much sugar.
Yeah. I had a little piece of apple pie yesterday. It was pretty okay.
You know, I'm not supposed to have all that sugar and stuff, but you know, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go happy. So
that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm beginning not to care anymore.
There's nothing wrong with that. But so anyway, what's today? Today's questions and the continuation of Enoch.
Today is if any questions regarding either Enoch or anything that they want to bring out, we will go through. So far, I got 3 starred questions.
Where did you go through your? Have you? Well, I'm sure you went through the book. Was there anything specific you concentrated on?
Not yet. I was going to do that this weekend, but you know, you all were talking about going from the end to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
In that way, I've never done that, so I might try that.
It does read. It does read a little bit different. It gives you context in a lot of sense of the word as far as how the story is perceived. I mean, even they say about the Bible, the story was written from the end to the beginning. So that's where I got the idea of reading it from, like the last chapters.
Well, I don't know if I can. If I did that, it would be them for prescribed are seasons and days where go will indeed they and unless I went letter by letter.
That's right. I had to go there. That's okay. So, but I started off my let's see, my hands today. Hold on. Yeah, I sent Jenny that first sentence I sent you.
So
I didn't know if she could add it to the chat, but hold on, let me. So that's my left hand today. It's 89.9. So we'll see where it ends up.
You're
and I did it
cold.
times before then. Yeah, my hands are always messed up.
Hello.
Hi. Running behind.
How are
okay,
we?
were you running with Nadia, or you were just running?
What? Would I do that?
I'm just saying, I don't know if there was portals involved.
Are you
Speaking of
Steve
which-
Urkel?
Speaking of which, I could not find the number of times that portal was mentioned in the Book of Enoch. If you read the first probably 20-some chapters, once you get the sun and moon, portal is mentioned a lot. I mean, a lot. And it's interesting because I was trying to find the Aramaic for this, and it's hard to say if that's what they're citing. I mean, it can't mean a portal. It means a place outside in many instances.
Right.
But like in the Bible, it only says portal twice.
I have an Aramaic to English.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm
Just
wondering
separate.
if that's a translation, or like certain words mean one thing and can mean another.
Yeah. How many times have we gotten mistranslations?
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
but
Let me
as much as we
show-
look at portals, I'd say it's probably accurate.
I'd say it is. Now, that's what I was telling Dennis before the show. I went through, I think, the first 26 chapters last night and a little bit this morning. And when I was going through that, the very first line or paragraph in the book is wrong completely, and I'll prove that. And after that, everything seems to be okay. There was maybe a misuse of a word, but over all those 26 chapters rang true, just like we were saying at the last show, that it was very accurate. And that's what I was getting. But I did send you an image, Jen. I don't know if you can pull it up.
I can go hunt for it. Yep.
Pulling the Nadia.
Okay, the first sentence I got out of the Aramaic to English is basically the same as what we discussed.
Right.
But I'll read it.
But
The word of the blessing of Enoch, how he blessed the elect and the righteous, who were to exist in the time of trouble, rejecting all the unrighteous and wicked.
Okay. Jen, is there any way you can put that up on the screen? I'd like them to see it if they can, or if Dennis can allow it.
Yeah, I can. Oh, there's Nadia.
Yay.
Welcome.
Hey, guys.
I see you have your trophies in the background or whatever, baubles and bits.
Yeah, I keep portal jumping. Guys. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
No, I can't hear you at all. No. Wow.
It's because of the name.
I see that mist is around you again.
Arrogant perv. Arrow perv.
Arrogant.
Pervigant.
Right. Hi guys, I'm in a different location, but not surprised. I'm not driving. Still barefoot though.
Yeah, I sent something to Jen via text. I wanted her to put up the screen. We were talking about how the Book of Enoch is very accurate, but the first paragraph, which is really one sentence with a few commas, I can prove that is incorrect. It's just worded differently. They couldn't do it a certain way because of how it was done, and I got a yes on this. So I mean, like 3 times, 3 ways, and immediate, bang, bang, bang. And you all can do this. You all can check cards, pendulum, however you want to do it.
Let me go. Okay, I gotta download it.
Okay, but I just want them to kind of see how it's written.
Okay.
Now, in my translation in the Sefer, that verse is actually more like a paragraph. There's more to it.
Yeah.
Let's see if this works.
Okay.
I don't know.
I sent it to you. There you go.
Okay, there we are. Okay, let me read this first, and then I'll explain what I got shown. The words of the blessings of Enoch, comma, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, comma, who will be living in the day of tribulation, comma, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. Okay, now a comma is kind of a pause, like, hey, this is just matter of factly, but then it goes back, what comes next after the comma is what was meant. In other words, here's the words of the blessing of Enoch. Skip this first comma. Okay, who will be living in the days of tribulation? How it's actually supposed to be read is the words of the blessings of Enoch, who will be living in the day of tribulation. Enoch, who will be living in the day of tribulation. Now, with that said, take the paragraphs that we didn't talk. Okay, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous. Go over to the next one. When all the wicked and godless are to be removed. That's how that's supposed to be read. Okay. Now,
Okay.
I got yeses on this, but they couldn't. They changed the very first line because it actually read the words of the blessings of Enoch. Enoch, who will be living in the day of tribulation. That proves that he is going to be one of the two witnesses.
One of the witnesses. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys do your pendulums, your cards, however you want to do it. I got yes 3 times on it.
Yeah.
And I'll take a no. I don't care. I'm just saying this jumped
I got a yes.
Yeah, this jumped out at me.
I'd like to give you a no, but I've been having that yes for a very long time.
Well, you need to get rid of it.
And
and the
It's starting to
other
weigh on you.
It's not contagious, trust me.
the other one would probably be Elijah.
yes.
That's who I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yep.
that. But that's
Some
how that's
people
wording.
think
So I don't know
Moses
if you want to pull
was
cards on that, Jen. But
Mhm.
that's we talked about the book being so accurate, yet they switched this right there in the very beginning. The very beginning. And because they just couldn't come out and say, why is the blessings, the words of Enoch, and if he's writing it, why is he saying, he wouldn't say, hey, I'll be around back then because I never die.
Right.
At this point, he doesn't know.
So I
Interesting.
wonder who it was that was transcribing this or writing this book then.
I
If
think
it's
this
not
this
Enoch.
portion might have been Methuselah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Oh, okay.
Because God told him to go back and render to his son Methuselah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking into the future, Enoch stepping through the veil because that's high priestess. Yep. And that's a good positive thing, but he'll be joined. Now that's a 3. I know there's said 2 witnesses, but I'm
Right.
curious to know who the third one is.
I think that would be,
Unless it's Yeshua.
it's either going to be Yeshua or God will be there at their death. God will watch over them at their death on earth. So could be one, or it could be just like in the story of was it Lot, when the angel came and one was God and the others were angels. It was the angel of God. It was actually God's presence.
Right.
So that's a possibility also. But yeah,
that was Lot.
Yeah, pardon me.
That was Lot, yes.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That through the 26 chapters that I went through again yesterday and this morning, I'd say that was all correct except maybe for a word or two, but it didn't change the translation any bit, because when I was going through it, I was trying to see how accurate these things were. And it literally, besides a word or two and maybe a interpretation, it's still, the context is valid. So I thought that was interesting. That's how I wanted to start that off.
But Jay, I have a question. You mentioned something about will Enoch come back here to experience a death, or I thought you said something like that. He will be back and God will witness his death.
Right. Well, if you think about it, Elijah and Enoch, they're the, quote, 2 that we know of that did not experience death on this earth plane.
Right.
And the 2 witnesses, 2 is an odd number in the Bible. 2s don't come up irregularly. It's usually 3s, 7s, 10s,
Scripture also says that everyone must experience the first death.
Right.
But not necessarily the second, which is hellfire. So
right.
But
And
wouldn't the first death consist of dying of the ego and getting into Christ consciousness? Would that be considered a death?
I think it's a physical death.
I think
as
it's a
well.
Is it a physical death?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't even that. My whole body just went like this. What'd she say?
But you don't like your old body anyway.
It totally rejected that. It was like,
It's like, I'm not sticking around. I don't care.
I got confirmation on Elijah being the second too. That
Beautiful.
Elijah will make the journey because that's speaking. He would be doing a lot of the speaking and the fool's journey. That's starting something new.
and through this, once I got through this very thing here with Enoch, okay, just this first kind of paragraph, if you will,
Yeah.
I immediately jump on a rabbit hole that is unrelated to Aaron's rod. In other words, not Moses's rod, Aaron's rod, because in the Holy of Holies, if you will, or the Ark of the Covenant, the commandments were in there. There's three things: Aaron's rod and something else, not Moses' rod, Aaron's rod. So then I started contemplating these things of, well, we always see angels with swords. What if they're just so brilliant we see them as swords and they are actually rods? Because let's face it, angels are in battle, they don't die. So what good is a sword? You know,
I think they're wands.
Sword is a man-made thing. And if you think about it as a staff, they would call it a staff because a staff was something different. A shepherd used a staff.
Right.
A rod was something different. And I tried looking up the Aramaic on that, but it kept drawing me back to that. And I can't find any correlation on Aaron's rod into the book of Enoch.
Well, doesn't it say that Yeshua would come back to rule with an iron rod or iron fist or something like that? I think that's what it said.
Possibility.
Yeshua would, well, in Islam, Yeshua will come back with a sword.
Well, he is the sword of the spirit. So when he speaks, that is a double-edged sword. So
I'm getting a yes to that. And see, anyway, now I start doing weird shit in my head. Okay, I have two divining rods, two rods.
I got a portal opening, guys, by the way.
I'm wondering if one is representative of Moses and one is representative of
I knew
Aaron. It's like all of a sudden this is like weird shit just flying into my head.
yeah.
Can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. But it was hey.
Like you're the wrong person. Wait a minute. Something's off here.
The arrogant.
Is this like a different timeline where
I am now the grandmother.
little man's grandma?
I am now the captain. Well, I'm also being a grandmother here. I'm putting so much shoe on. All right, guys. I'm sorry to interrupt. That this portal opened up automatically. What is it?
Where's dentist?
Where's the dentist? Where's the dentist?
Right there.
White Dale. You white Dale.
Where's Rocco?
Right there.
Where's Mimi? And where's Tia Nadia? Oh, Tia Nadia's right here.
Yeah.
Say bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Love you.
I just want you to know it took me many, many years to write that book.
I bet.
Yeah, well, there was no time then.
Pencil or
Are you
ink?
still playing with something, Jen, or are we
No, we can move on. No,
Okay.
that's fine. Oh, what's this?
Uh-oh, somebody portal jumped.
Damn. Kids got talent.
Oh, these are new star shades. What do you want to say? Wait till you go up to the dentist.
Well, I'm just going to say on your screen, Nadia, his jacket looked more yellow, and in Jen's screen, it looks more green.
Could be the aura.
Hmm.
When they get in my aura, it's I think my aura is blue anyway.
Listen to the arrogance today. Can you believe it?
Blue and green. Does blue
really.
and green make it? Is it yellow and
Now,
green?
and I don't know if you noticed my name, but it's definitely J. Rock.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm an excellent driver. Definitely.
I am not doing my name backwards anymore. Because
Because you don't have any more to change.
El
Don't get in trouble.
Hakim. La Hakim.
Yeah, he says Spanish. La.
Clem.
Yeah.
Lea Clem.
Leche.
Him. So you're like Tres Leches.
Like I am.
So
Late Chase.
where
Okay.
would we like to go from Wednesday?
It's up to you guys.
Ladies.
Well, I know
Or
that we
are we
don't
gonna
like
go to
talking
the
about negative entities and everything, but he sure did spend a lot of time talking about the fallen ones.
Yeah.
I think it's important to address it. I really do.
And if you think about it, this is kind of where I think there's references made to
All right.
Enoch
Oh,
in
God.
the elders and the councils listed in the Bible in Numbers and Hebrews. Where God's actually mad at his council.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple different things on that, and it seems to tie in with somehow the book of Enoch. It almost seems what we've given of the book of Enoch is for now, not Enoch 2 or 3. I think that's just for now, and we're going to get something later. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's what it feels like to me. Book Enoch 2 and 3 are.
So you're saying that's not the later.
Yeah, I don't think they are even of Enoch, if you will. I mean, they're about Enoch. Book 1 is of Enoch, where I think at some point we're going to find something else that comes after this first book of Enoch.
But didn't we get the percentage of how true the second book was?
What was the first book we were talking about?
It was for the entire book
For the book
Yeah,
series,
more
yeah.
than
book
90%.
series,
Yeah.
But in the way, if you read it, they read totally different. Book 2 and 3 read very similar. It's almost like a third party accounting of the story of where Enoch just seems like he's talking, even though he makes reference of certain things. But in most of the cases of the language in the first book, it's him talking.
Mm-hmm.
The other two books don't have that perspective.
Right.
That's what jumps out at me.
Yeah, he talks about the fallen, but he also goes into some detail with Uriel, Raphael, Michael,
Right.
Gabriel. What is the other one? Serakiel?
He brings up the prison in heaven, which is Tartarus. It's actually the same name. I think it's either Numbers, Deuteronomy, or Hosea in the book, but they also mention Tartarus. And in the Greek mythology, the prison for the gods is Tartar. So Tartarus, it's very similar. And then we have Tartaria.
Yeah.
Is Tartaria actually of the fallen? And if it's Tartaria is Atlantis, we got the other day that is one and the same in many sense, many aspects.
Yeah, that's why it confused me when you said that that the prison was in the heaven. Remember when we were talking about us? Every time we go over another heaven, it's beneath us. Because what I have is the watchers will be deep underground. So yes, in Atlantis, that's the second heaven. Would you say?
Yeah,
Let me see what
we're trying to understand it how we see it. It's to up might be down to them. I mean, even if you go into the book of Enoch, they have, like they say, north, south, west, and east, and they use it as a number. What is it? It's east is 1, 2 is south, west is 3rd, and north is 4, but there's 3 in the north. So
East.
yeah, no, in the north, it even says there are 3 within the north, but he gives a number to
as reference.
east, north, south, east, and west. He gives a number. And I think that's a clue that we don't see in many aspects. Why would you number what is east, what is south, what is north, what is
Mhm.
west. That to me
Because
is
what I have, like the first heaven is the angels control the elements, and then the second heaven is the state of turmoil, which is the prison, which is probably Atlantis or somewhere there. The
that's
third, which is
jurisdiction.
the third, which what we are in now, is contrast of good and evil. People are now depicting what good and evil is.
Right.
Mm.
The only one I don't get is the fifth. So if we're ascending to the fifth, what is the Grigori?
Gregorian.
That's what I. What is that?
The calendar?
Well, it says the Grigori. That was what I found as the fifth
Greg-
heaven.
Well, Grigori is another name for the Watcher.
Mm.
For the
I
Watchers.
think you're right on that. Yeah. That was their designation, all of them. Yeah, I get a yes on that. Yeah.
Oh, so those are the good Watchers then, not the fallen
Right.
ones.
Well, don't forget. I mean, I think
the
there were,
entire group.
yeah, there was many. Okay, put it this way: the Watchers. There was only so many that came down, although 200 stayed with X, if you will.
So they're
Right.
in the fifth
Right.
heaven.
The ones that did nothing, they were complicit. They knew what was going on, even though they didn't act on it. They were complicit. Those are the ones that are in Tartarus, because they are damned by association. Well, you didn't say anything, and if you remember, we got that the fallen angels had turned the firmament so that it all couldn't be seen clearly. So
Right.
Okay.
it all kind of wraps in together. Yeah, there were some angels that are listed as fallen that were watchers, but they didn't do anything. But they knew what was happening.
They stood
So
by and
is-
let it all happen.
Right. They were complicit. Yes.
So is this who they probably reference that God is angry to that council in the fifth heaven?
Well, depending on where you're at in the book, I think he was angry because of the punishment or lack of. And if you go back further, it also ties it into the later, more along the New Testament. But it does talk about that God's angry with his council. It doesn't list elders, but you get the feeling that it is. If it's quote the kings that they talk about in heaven that throw their crowns down.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I was going to ask, do we have an idea of how many are on the council and who were they? Because I always thought later it would be people like Noah, Abraham, but if Enoch's writing this before they were even here.
Oh, I have one more question.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't know. I didn't ask this, so we're gonna do this live. But we know that Sandalphon and Metatron were angels that became, or the men became angels. Man became
Right.
Right.
Now in the Old Testament, there's several angels that are listed with an AL at the end of their name.
Mhm.
So anyway, this kind of sounds stupid and kind of sounds English, but is the ON, is that a designation that they were once man? And is AL and EL a designation? Well, we know EL is of God, and in many spellings, AL also is of God. But is it an actual designation of their job or power?
The role that they would have.
Yeah. I mean, just like a type of hat that you wore in the 1800s. You had a top hat, you was a businessman. You had a schlubby hat, you was a dock worker. You know what I mean? The hat was a
We had
designation.
a fez, you were educated.
The actual last two letters of their description, their roles, for the most part.
I'm getting a yes for the function. For the last 3 or 4 letters of each of the angelic names.
Yeah, I get a yes. I think there's a little more to it, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Go Nads.
Drawing
Oh, yeah, gonads was. Did you hear me?
No.
I was asking
Yeah,
the question in other languages. AL is referred to as feminine and EL as male. That's what I was saying. I was trying to say that, and you heard
That
gonads.
Go Nets.
And yet I had thought that the angelic realm is not male or female.
I agree.
That's why I was
It's
asking this
both.
question.
It's male and female. It represents both, but this is their title, position, and job with the magician.
Okay. So if we look at divine feminine, divine masculine, the angels embody both. Would that be safe to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I get that. I strong yes to
I
that.
would say so, because if they didn't, how would a fallen angel do what they did?
Well, what if they didn't have the right part to do the right thing?
Then they
That
wouldn't
what my
have
problem
giants.
is.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe the ones that stayed back didn't have parts. Who knows? Or they were complicit. They had the other parts.
I'm
Batteries
checking
not
to see if
included.
I'm checking to see if that's what my problem is. It says you
Apparently,
can count on it. So
You
yeah.
can count on
according to the cards, there are the ones that have fallen have their own spelling as well. With judgment and the devil, the negative, the way they spell their name has it. Now I'd have to go back and look at them.
I mean, that makes sense if you think about it. I mean, technically, Lucifer was Samael,
Yeah.
and he became Satan, Lucifer here.
And Baal,
All and
Like the
even
AL.
Azazel.
yeah,
Yeah.
even then, that almost seems like Baal could be an entity of Satan. You know what I mean?
That's why I thought it was interesting to go through that list. It's almost like, I'm putting it as what was written in the past is what's going now, presently. Like that's their tribunals, and we have our tribunals.
Right.
Right.
So I think it's interesting to find out, like, this was your punishment because of.
And
That's why I'm thinking.
the funny thing
Go
is
ahead.
their final punishment isn't until the end. They may be imprisoned in the heavens and in the ground and in the earth. Their final punishment is yet to come.
Right.
I mean, let's think about that. We think our lifetime is long. Imagine thousands and thousands of years. I mean, you're
But isn't
basically
there? It's the opinion of many that the fallen angels are under the river Euphrates,
Mhm.
that they could
Yes, they said
possibly
that
be
before.
held there.
Yeah, but could that be an opening to the underground also?
we also we
Yeah.
also got something on that the demons of the under the Euphrates were also synonymous with the four winds, the angels of the four winds.
Right.
We had gotten that before. Could they be two separate? Absolutely, but it seems like their jobs are similar.
Jen, can we check if the ones in the Euphrates is an opening to the underground?
Well,
Like a
would it
like
be
part
underground or just
part
a
of
portal?
the Shambhala.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yes,
think
wherever. No, if they're
Portal.
not in Shambhala, but they could be
Not
in
not the good parts, because there's good and bad down there.
Yeah.
So
wherever they're imprisoned. Is
okay.
that an opening to?
They're in timeout,
They're in timeout? Yeah.
in chains, but they're in timeout.
They're in timed out.
Now, when it comes to their judgment that's coming later, is that going to be the sole responsibility of the creator? Because we were told as saints that we would also be judge and jury, but is that for the people, the humans?
Yeah, I'm getting.
there might be something to that since they persecuted us that we may be able to get a say in that. Love you.
I'm waiting for mine.
Love you, Lee.
And go give Nadia a kiss. Okay.
I'm kind of getting a yes that it's going to be both.
No.
No.
Right.
No. Love you, bub, but no.
Love you, brother.
I lost. Sorry, I lost that.
That's
Hey,
opening.
American perv, you cannot give me a hug.
I'm getting both archangels and humans.
Okay.
It feels like both.
88 to 95.
Well,
It's-
yeah, it went from 89 9 to 95 2.
Wow.
I was only holding the rods twice.
So DHP, Jay's on fire.
Yes.
So I pulled a card about the river Euphrates being an opening. Apparently, it's multiple openings.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so would that? I think maybe we should classify that as like a gateway. Maybe not
Yeah.
necessarily a portal,
Yes,
but
yes,
a
yes.
gateway to many. And see, that's just it. I think the language. Really
Wow.
messes us up.
Yeah, that's the Wheel of Fortune, but that's like a gateway.
Yeah.
It can be a portal, but always changing, so it
Yeah.
can go multiple places. Kind of like a Stargate almost,
Right,
if that
right.
makes sense.
That
Yeah.
makes. I think for people that makes an easier understanding.
Yeah.
Because we hear portal.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a
Well,
gateway,
I've gone
portal.
through it. I haven't seen any of them, so I'm good.
if we look at it from a sci-fi standpoint, a gateway could be like the key man in the Matrix. He has
Yeah.
the key to multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
King
I
there
hold
has the key.
keys. You may want to double check with the rods if I hold the keys to both heaven and hell.
Ooh.
I thought Yeshua had the keys.
No, I think he's given them to me. Wow.
Oh, okay.
I would say you have. I don't know if you hold them, but you have access to them.
Well, aren't you precious? Okay.
I mean, in other
You
words,
do.
I don't
You have
necessarily.
to do the
you're the
iris
key
scan.
holder. I think
Oh.
you are one of the elect that can. I mean, I get it, soft yes, but that's what I'm getting out of that interpretation.
Fingerprints, yeah.
We get him the Caesar.
What does the 8-ball say?
What does the 8-ball say? Let's see.
Okay.
I've had so much fun with this thing. I've only actually used this during our shows. That's it. Indications say yes.
Okay, see? All right.
There we
I got
go.
a yes.
So I'm making a list and I'm checking it twice.
Okay, I don't ask many questions of myself, but I have to ask this. Give me a yes or no. Like I said, I had seen that maybe the rods might be representative of Aaron's and Moses. Mine.
Okay.
Is this my rod, for lack of a better term?
Oh,
In
okay.
other words, we say
Ooh.
we're giving us.
I'm
we're
getting a
giving us
very
word.
strong yes to
Yeah,
that.
is this my Aaron's rod in many aspects?
Yes.
And because it kept coming, and I'm, you got to push it away. Ego. They're perking me on it. So I don't know why I need to know. I don't want to know.
I'll say it just like Jay would say it. Yes, but there's something more to it.
Yeah. That's a huge yes. Those 2 aces. Yeah. That's your enlightenment tool. What's with the hangman?
Okay.
That is your gift. Because the Ace of Pentacles is a gift from the universe, but that's your sword of spirit and truth.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. I mean, like I said, they want me to hear this. I'll wrap my head around it, but they're poking me to ask it. I don't like that. That's
The
ego.
bear.
But for some reason, they want me to know. So thank you.
But like I said, there is something more to it. It's something more than just asking yes or no, though.
Well,
There is something else.
I'm not going outside and striking rocks for water to come out. That's all I can say. There's not going to be any walnuts,
It's
bro.
gonna
I
be
know,
more
but there
towards
is
you to
something
do.
more to that, and I don't know what it is.
Maybe there is. But I mean, that's all I need to know.
Maybe it's just that's your rod for now. Because as you increase with gifts and things like that, it could change.
Maybe.
So
Yeah,
it
thank
could
you.
add
I mean,
to
when
it.
you answered that, my hand lit up. It was like, shh.
Mhm.
How about if you just check, is it also for grounding or for detaching to something?
I don't know. Okay, I don't read like Jen. I mean, we get downloads and everything like that. All I can say is, like, when I think about them, a lot of times I just think that they're truth. For in simplest term, it's truth that I'm searching for. I don't know how else to say that, because that's what I'm looking for when I'm asking.
I'm trying to figure out why I'm getting like a ground, like, say for example, when you're at your rods you're not in the matrix.
I agree
It's
with that.
Very
level you.
spiritual.
Yeah.
Okay. He goes somewhere else. That's how he's receiving his information.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what those are
Makes
wands.
sense.
It goes somewhere else. Now Spirit is adding on to this. Beware, pay attention to what the universe is going to bring you. Okay. The death card means great changes. So your gifts can change.
Yeah.
You can constantly grow and evolve, not only just with the rods, and it could be anything. Maybe
Right.
your downloads.
Well,
Mhm.
actually, one of the things I got the other day was I got a new angel. Another
You
one.
got a new what?
I
An
got
angel?
a new angel.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm just going to leave it at that.
mm.
That's all.
Good.
I got a new angel.
Hmm. And I do believe if we don't keep our egos in check and we don't give honor and glory to the creator, we can lose these gifts.
Yes, without
Oh,
a doubt.
yes.
Mhm.
And like I said, they were pushing me. I didn't want to do it on camera here, but at the same time, they're sitting there going, ask it.
Yeah.
And
Hey
It's
Jay, you
really
know how
bad.
you say when you are on when we have a nice topic on the phone, your battery gets drained? This is a very nice topic.
Yeah.
The battery is draining very quickly.
oh, really?
Yeah, so we're doing pretty well.
Well, I lost 23%, so you're right. And it's just sitting there, my son.
Wouldn't it be
Thanks.
nice if it was instead of the batteries, it was the weight loss?
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Ooh.
Man boobs into
I
man
like that
pecs.
idea.
I like that. Let's go talk to the council.
Can we manifest that?
Change
Okay.
that love banister into an actual ab.
Can you imagine? I can't come on the show today, guys. I'm almost anorexic.
That's all right. I don't know. At least we're not losing brain cells. But then
Yeah.
again, these deep dives.
They do, yes.
Well, now is the Book of Enoch, just let's throw this out here, kind of my summary. It's supposed to be for those people at end of days or end times.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a particular group of people they're talking to or about? Is it the elect? Is it the select? Or is it everyone? That's what I have a hard time interpreting. Is
It's
the book for all? The book may be for all, but who is it actually meant for? Because
it
when
could
it talks specific. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's very specific, and it's either has your ear or it doesn't. Either you have the understanding or you don't. It's not just a fascination.
We've
well,
talked
I'm
about that,
getting
but putting what category are we in? You know, because the term elect has been thrown around, and
Right.
then we start talking about NPCs.
Well,
yes.
the way even the book of Enoch states elect and select,
Mhm.
it uses them in different contexts. But I'm taking that as believers. And the different level of believers, I think, doesn't matter. I think that's for the heavenly realm,
Yeah.
elect and select. But I think the book is given to all. But I really believe that if we look at the select and elect, it's only meant to be understood by those God deems, if you will.
Right.
I
Okay,
don't know
well,
how else to say it.
all right.
It's
Well,
not
I'm
just
going to
like,
say it
oh,
like
this is
this.
cool, this is great, this is what, and move on. You know, what's
These
the
are
wrong?
one of the books that are on in all religion. So it is elected for whoever believes
Right,
it, no matter
right.
what. If it's not just
This book has
to
nothing
the
to do
Bible,
with
it's
religion.
not just to the Bible. It's to any book.
It's about heaven. It's
So
about
it's an
you
elect.
and heaven.
So it's an elected amount of people. However, with free will, you choose to be a believer or not.
Right.
So
But we're also, don't forget, let's not mix up belief with faith.
okay, faith.
I mean, I look at it this way, like for the believer, that's one thing. They
Mhm.
can be fascinated by it, but the faith to understand that it's right and it is what it is. It's its will.
Yeah.
You know, the Holy Spirit, however you want to look at it, it is meant for
Yeah.
only a certain few to truly
So
understand.
how many of us say we've come down here, we've chose to come down here. So those are the chosen, those are the elected that came down. A lot others wanted to come down and were not allowed to. So from there, let's say, for example, I know this is going to sound funny, but maybe there's two of me, and one of me had free will, and I did not want to do what I'm
Is
doing.
she arrogant too?
Yes, she
Nasty.
is a dang
Nasty.
perv.
But I mean, each of us have more people who came for this reason.
Right.
So if I chose I didn't want to do it, somebody else would fill this box.
Mhm.
Then
Well,
I'm not one of the chosen.
Let me
I'm
let me
thinking
add
I
to this.
wasn't originally
Dennis.
supposed
Good,
to
Dennis.
be here.
Dennis, I can't
I
hear you.
wish- I originally, can you hear me now?
Mhm.
Can you hear me now? Originally, I don't think I was supposed to be here, but I had to walk in. I couldn't take it anymore.
Okay, let's
Keep
go.
coming back.
Let's go to the tarot cards. Okay, for the
Okay.
last several years, people meet in chat and they say, "Hey, Jen, did I ever have a past life with so and so? Did I?"
Mhm.
Okay, what we know of all of that is it seems like, okay, I don't know Joe Smith in the chat, but I will
He's here, yeah.
I will guarantee you I had a past life with him.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
The reason I'm saying that is I still kind of view this as a past life. Like all the problems are getting correct and we're coming down to the final
Yeah.
end. But in the same time, even though we were met in past lives in different lifetimes, we're
Mhm.
all here now together.
Mhm. Oh yeah. That's why we're all here.
That's
Yep.
evident. And I think we're here to, quote, witness. But at the same time, that's just it. Oh, I would say that everyone has shared a past life at some point that is within our groups or groups. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah.
guarantee it because we're all here together.
And
That's
it could be positive or negative.
right. It doesn't matter. We're here for a
Mhm.
purpose, and it's to witness. You know, this person, well, you didn't have a past life, but he killed you in a past life. Doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter how you died. You shared a past life, but we're all here now. All of us. I don't care how many lives ago. Okay, you're never always in the same lifetime, but for some reason we are. That's just
Right.
it. That's an elephant in the room that I think people don't talk about either.
Well, I think we're also here to right the wrong. I bet you we were there when the first mistake happened, and we're just here to make sure it
Murphy.
goes the right way this time.
That was my
No,
first
I'm
name,
sorry,
Murphy.
I was the only one here.
You
I'm
can
sorry.
blame it on that Dom up there, you know.
Murphy's Law. Yeah, Murphy's Law. I'm Murphy. How you doing? Oh, watch out.
Mhm.
And
I'll be right
speaking about walk-ins,
We were.
walk-ins is a contract. Some like say, Dennis, you said I'm here now because I need to know how to play with the keys, but you said I don't have time to be a baby, go through all of that stuff. So that's the contract that a soul has that said, okay, I did your job in the beginning. Now you can walk in and do what you had to do. That what your purpose
Mhm.
was.
Right.
That's why there's a lot of walk-ins.
I just don't remember saying that. But yeah, okay.
He walked in to master the 8-ball.
How many of us don't remember signing the contract to be here?
Nope. I have second guessed my choices quite a few times. Like, what was I thinking? But before we come here, you know that we're all excited. I'll go, I'll do it. It's because
Then you come here. That's why the infant cries as soon as they're born. They said, "What the hell did I
crap.
do?
Yep.
Back here
Yep.
again?"
Yep.
No, I always viewed all my mishaps and all those little roadblocks and whatnots as learning experiences. I think for the longest time, since back from my teens, I think until now.
Well, I mean, how else would you know there's bad if you didn't go through it? How else did you know
Right.
your
Well,
strength if you
yeah,
don't go
that's
through
why I
it?
got married for 33 years, just to experience.
I got out
Will I
on
ever
good.
get married again?
I got out on good behavior.
Now she just spends her time portal wandering.
Exactly. Good behavior. Don't have the ankle bracelet though.
I don't know about you guys and researching Enoch if yours is the same as mine, but mine says there's no chapter 11.
What?
If there's no chapter, it says no chapter 11.
Did he just lose that chapter?
I don't know.
Well, let's see. I'll check my.
I'm checking right now. Why would illumination? Why would you get rid of illumination?
I don't know.
Wait a minute.
I'm just scrolling to see if anybody has.
Wait a minute.
He said, "Where was I at?" Oh yeah, chapter 12.
Chapter 12, you said? Or
No,
11?
There's
Chapter
no
10
chapter
goes-
11.
Chapter 11. I got a paragraph, 2
Yes.
verses.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I have nothing.
And you
Can
don't
you-
have anything for 11?
Can you read it, Dennis?
Nothing.
Yeah, I can read it.
It specifically says no chapter 11.
Well, in
And that's written in
the
Hebrew?
Aramaic to English, it says, "And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessing which are in heaven, that I may cause them to ascend upon earth and upon all the works and labor of man. And truth and peace shall associate with the sons of men all the days of the world in every generation of it."
I have that, but it's part of chapter 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm. Somebody messed up. It wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Well, let's blame him
I know what I
anyway.
wrote.
Still fascinating.
It
Now,
is.
when it goes on to chapter 13, Enoch is the one that's addressing like Azazel in the negative. So I would have thought it would have been the creator himself, but Enoch was addressing them. As he said to Azazel, "You shall not obtain peace. A great sentence is gone forth against you. He shall bind you, neither shall relief, mercy, supplication be yours on account of the oppression which you have been taught." So, because it goes on saying everything that's going to happen to them, that they would be bound because of what they did to mankind. I didn't realize it was Enoch that it was addressing them, because it says that they
The
shook
angels.
and they all
Addressing-
became terrified and trembled.
Yeah, that was through his vision. That's why. That's what we're talking about. He's given them the lowdown. You'll never come to heaven. That one. Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking- That was Enoch's vision, which was given to him by God, and that's why I said they were on earth at the time. They weren't in heaven, because he told them then and there you would never see heaven again, and that was God's deliverance to youth.
Yeah, it says that he might take the memorial of their prayer, ascend up before Elohim of heaven, because they could not themselves thenceforward address him, nor raise up their eyes to heaven on account of the disgraceful offense for which they were judged.
And they couldn't go there.
Wow.
So from chapter 11, are we saying that the 2 will come down before Yeshua or during the time of Yeshua?
I think they're the ones that herald in Yeshua.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I mean, we don't look at them as heralds, but that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, try and think biblically. Like Jen's husband, Harold. He's our fighter. He's our cheerleader. He's our protector.
Mm-hmm.
That's
actually what his name means.
yes.
It's a ruler of God's army.
Exactly. And the 2 witnesses herald in God and the saints that come with him.
Yeah.
And if you remember, it was Johann the Baptist that heralded Yeshua when he first came.
Rocco,
wasn't-
you stepped out, I asked them, do you have a chapter 11 in your Enoch? Because I do not.
I don't think I do.
Just
Hold on.
curious if they're all different.
I want to say they are.
Well, wasn't Ezekiel Johann?
That's
Johann
what they said.
is John.
Yeah, I do have a chapter 11, but it's a sentence. It says, "And in those days will open the store chambers of the blessings which are in heaven." So
Yeah.
as to send them down, I think that would be 12 or 10 in the other books. It literally is two sentences.
Is it good?
Yeah, that's what Michael had but that's part of chapter 10 in mine. It says there is no chapter 11.
But
Or coffee would be
there's-
great. I could do
there's
coffee.
something specific in, like, there's a couple of the chapters that are small like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's done for a reason. I think we shouldn't take those little sentences as nothing. They're separated in for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the message is very simple, I think we don't. They're almost separated to kind of like, listen up on this. You may
Right.
think this is small, like
Mm-hmm.
a simple stone. It's not. It's the domino of what's to come. That's the way I look at it.
I
And
can see
we'll
that.
find out, Joe, if we have to pass life together at some point.
Now, wasn't it John the Baptist that held the spirit of Elijah?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it was Elijah, not Ezekiel. Yeah, that's the one I
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus said he has already come, and but when you think about it,
Isn't Elijah Sandalphon?
yes, but was
Yeah.
he? Don't forget, when he was on earth, he was God's wrath on earth.
Mhm.
Praise
And
him.
when he comes back to earth, he is actually the one that is baptizing Jesus, and he's a different type of persona. So his mission or his chore or what he had to do was completely different. You know, I mean, you look at Enoch and you look at Elijah, the first two prophets.
Hmm.
It's pretty cut and dry.
I
We don't-
have no chapter 36 either.
It says
Well,
36.
then
but
you need to get a new.
I don't know what is going on with this.
36.
I could have
Let's
swore I just saw
see.
36.
There's a 36, but it says no chapter 36. They have the number,
Really?
but there's nothing there.
You see what I have?
See.
What number, Jen?
36.
36. Number 9.
36.
Number 9.
There's a number 9 once. I have a 36.
Yeah. And
Oops.
from thence I went to the south ends of the earth and saw there 3 open portals of the heavens. Or again, talks to the portals. And see, that's odd. In that context, it says 3 open portals of the heavens, but yet it doesn't mention those portals in the beginning of the first chapters. It specifically mentions north, south, east, and west, and north having 4 portals. Now we're seeing that the south has 3 portals to heaven. So
Yeah.
again, there's something with the numbers.
Yeah, the way that that's in chapter 35 of mine, but talks about
Okay.
3 gates. They use the word gates. So
Gates.
this is really going to determine who is translating it.
Well, and or wouldn't that be a gateway, perhaps, again, like we talked about?
Like a Stargate kind
If
of
it's
thing.
multiple,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's actually what that means, a gateway, or they're describing them as portals, but it's the area north, south, east, west. That's the gateway to those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to say that they also talk about the West.
The
Eastern
West is
portal.
in 35
Wow.
on this translation.
Yep.
And then the
THP
south
has
is
a
on
point.
36.
THP said if the chapter is blank, that means you get to make something up.
The West.
So throw it in there.
Oh, okay.
Throw prophecy out there.
You make
bro.
it up as you go along.
All right.
You're manifesting that particular
I gotta
chapter.
fill in the blanks.
There you go. Now I'm thinking, since we're
Who's manifesting? I'm trying to listen.
We're almost on an hour yet, and I've got 21 questions already started.
All right, let's get to
Oh,
the questions.
wow. We'll get to the
Let's
questions.
get to the
So
Let's close
let
off.
me
But
check the copy page and make sure there's no questions in there. Nothing
well,
in
okay. While you're
mine.
doing that, since all this is written, I think we all should just join in the Midwest and be safe.
The Midwest.
Not Mid-Atlantic, Midwest.
Chicago.
Okay.
Chicago.
So the first question I have is from Caroline.
Did you tell me no more questions? Did you want me to write that?
Yeah, I
No,
would.
not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Not yet. We'll see how fast we're going through these.
Okay.
I found a tiny brown feather on my top today. Was there a meaning to it?
I love feathers when you find them.
Keep plucking feathers out of your angels. That's what I tell the kids I do, the wings.
I hear in Native American culture, feathers come from heaven.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
posted something in our little bit of chat from a Native American site about the feathers. That was about a week ago. It was interesting.
They come
It
from
might be a down pillow.
I get there's a small message. Whatever it is nice.
Yeah.
But that's not for me. Jen will give it to.
Carolyn, did you have a question that you wanted an answer for?
Who?
Carolyn.
She's just wanting to know if there was a message or a meaning.
Meaning to the feather.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. If she had a question that the feather answered.
Well, these cards say that you're gonna overcome the adversity of money because this is abundant, and the Chariot says it's coming quickly.
And nobody else is in the house. House isn't open.
Wow. Yep. Ace of Pentacles. The universe is about to present a gift to you, so they're just saying, pay attention.
A lot of energy for a spirit to come through loud and clear. You don't know.
HP's last question is why.
I know, I'm answering it right now.
Here's a follow-up question. Why? Then there's another follow-up. Why? Why the why? Why?
Why?
As I said, maybe closing
Are we there
questions
yet?
soon.
Are we there yet?
Okay. I think we're done with that one. We shall go to this one. When the
Okay.
fallen angels took wives, did they materialize into physical form through spells?
Mm.
I think it's within them, but this does feel like some type of magic.
Chant.
Maybe it's mysticism.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right word is, but spell
I
is
think
yeah.
mysticism
It feels like
probably the
mysticism
right word.
would be spell, but it feels.
Is shape-shifting a spell?
It is. It can be considered
Well, I would say maybe to maintain
a manifestation of.
Yes.
I mean, as you remember, we were talking about this density kind of keeps them here, and if they, I think if they step foot on the earth, they can only be here for so long, or else they can't rise again. And if they decided to stay and quote lay with women, isn't that just like an anchor? You know, I mean, did they?
Well, when they came down to Earth to do that, they lost their wings and their halos.
Well,
Yeah.
this is one of the
Earth.
questions.
There's your Ace of Cups. So it's confirmation that it's a form of that. But Temperance comes in because the angel, she's balancing between here in Gaia and the spiritual realm. So when they fell, their appearance totally changed.
When they fell, that was it. It was over.
Yep.
Okay, now here's my question. They were watchers.
Mhm.
Were they watchers on the earth, Gaia, or were they watchers up in heaven to begin with?
I think they were somewhere in between.
So when they consider themselves on Gaia as watchers, they still were angelic.
I think I can define this. They were within the firmament as watchers. That, if that makes sense.
Okay.
They're
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
when they
what
came down to, when their feet came down to earth, does that consider them as fallen and they lost their gifts?
I want to say they could. I'm sure a few of them could touch down and stay for a limited time.
Well, they still they took all of
Yeah.
their knowledge and was giving it to humankind.
Right.
So they still they remembered how to do things, like Azazel taught
Right.
mankind how to make weapons and things like that. So
Well,
they may have
they
had
were-
a physical appearance change, but they still had a lot of knowledge.
Yeah. I don't.
But I'm just
Originally-
saying, when were they considered a fallen angel? Sorry, Dennis. When were they considered a fallen angel? Was it when God discovered that they did what they did, or were they when they got onto the Gaia, they were considered fallen?
Actually, I think the condemnation of Enoch was, it's done, it's over. So I mean, whether that was God's words through Enoch, that was it. That's what it feels like to me. It's holding hard. It's final. No, you can't call somebody or can I have a vow? No, it's over.
Interesting. I pulled one card on that, and that is the 8 of Wands. So as soon as they were thrown down here, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And okay, right off of this, if that's the case, if that was God's words, that was God's through words through Enoch. Was that the power? Was that the power, the breath, like the words, the vibration? It was done. I just want to kind of define that a little bit. For some reason, it seems important.
King, you wanted to say something?
The Watchers
A strong yes on that.
were in the 5th heaven before they fell. Because that's the
Strength.
5th heaven is where the Gregory or the Watchers that have lost their heavenly status.
Yeah.
Or
The
before they
5th.
lost their heavenly status. Yeah, 5th heaven.
Enoch speaking on behalf of the Creator. Yeah, that's the sun and strength, the strength of the Creator's words. That's confirmation that Enoch wasn't speaking for himself. He was speaking on behalf of the Creator. Okay.
You don't need to cry over this.
Rubbing your third eye there, Nadia.
Yeah, I've been rubbing it for a while.
It's sleepy.
It's just so sad with this story.
DHP Jr. In the Old Testament, Jehovah's people sacrificed animals to atone for their sins. Was it really animals they were sacrificing, or was it humans?
What is that?
So,
I'm getting both.
Music.
I'm getting
Look at the
both.
dancing Santa. Yeah, I did. I did this. Jay, I did this. Yeah, both.
There also seems to be a deception in here. Like, in other words, some of the fallen angels could make children or people look like animals. But I'm getting it was both.
Yeah.
There's a deception in
Yeah,
there.
this
I think
is
that's
lots
what
of
it is.
both. They used both to get justice served or to atone.
I'm going to say they used the second part after they knew they were fallen.
genetically modified humans?
Hybrids.
Genetically.
Yeah,
A little bit of
that's what I'm getting.
Forrest Gump there. Genetically.
So is that considered the first GMO?
I think that stuff's been around for tens of thousands of years.
It has.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Nadia. Serious. It's like, it's a yes.
Well, I'm sure they're genetically
Well, don't
modified if
forget-
you're
don't forget,
connected
though,
with.
There was a lot. Okay, there was part of some of the hardcore Judeos, if you will, would not eat the meat of the sacrifice because they thought it was idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
regardless if it's to the creator or not. They saw it as idolatry. This is where the first steps of separation of the sex come from. And if their thought was, well, if it's good enough for God's sacrifice, if we killed one of his animals, we should eat of it. That was the other side of the sect. In other words, this was God's reward, even though it was within his honor. We have to honor it by eating it. And then eventually Jesus did away with that whole bullshit of the food.
Wow.
Well, in Mexican Day of the Dead, whatever you put for the dead should never be touched. They said you could change, the taste is changed. The energy is sucked out of it.
Well, I would say that's true. I mean, you're giving it up as an offering.
Yeah, an honor for the dead already. So
I mean, that's kind of like what an offering means. You're giving it up for them but you can share within that harvest.
Right.
But when it comes to dead, there's good and bad. Sorry, that's just me. Honoring's one thing, remembering's another.
Yeah.
Offering is different. I mean, I understand it, but what's their intent? Is the offering looked at, oh, hey, we praise you as the dead, bad mojo there, but we remember you, here's our offering, good stuff. Do you know?
Exactly. Always intention.
Yeah.
Intention.
Voodoo. I'm getting voodoo on that.
No, on the Day of the Dead, it's basically remembering.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of culture, but voodoo, they're definitely.
Yeah.
Offering, yes. Okay, yes.
There's a lot of that in
That's
voodoo.
some squirrely stuff there.
Yeah, the power of words.
Voodoo.
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 Do you think you're fooling?
Oh, you're gonna have to sing that one, I think, Nadia.
I got the presidential seal. Next time.
You wearing shoes? Are you wearing shoes?
And the answer is no. Yeah, that was the first. That was going to be a question for live chat. What is Nadia doing now?
Do our collective choices or beliefs today affect ancient times? Considering time is non-existent and everything connects.
Yes, I believe yes. I could check, but
yeah,
we're still in an intertwining timelines.
Yeah, this is more Jen, but okay. Like I look at this as a past life, something that say Joe or Katrina has to do for it to affect me in the correction of the adjustment. Doesn't pertain to me, but yet somehow it does. So I think there's something to do with that. But I think I think he kind of timeline affects timeline. Yeah, Jen they're basically said this is all Jen. But,
wow. Okay. Yeah, it's definite. Yes. Depending upon what timeline, because remember, that's like different density. But what happens here in the present and the future is also affecting past, present, future. It affects everything.
except Vegas.
Except Vegas.
But stays in Vegas. It stays in Vegas.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about universal laws. That's the justice card. These things affect everything because of universal law.
Isn't that the story of the Terminators?
Okay, does this sound right? Something to do with the laws of man have to be completed for the laws of God also. I really don't know what that means, but something about the laws of man and affecting the laws of the creator. It's good and bad. It's push and pull. It's what it seems like. I didn't realize I have a TV on. I'm sorry. Let me turn that down.
Oh, is that where the Christmas songs came from? I was wondering. I thought it was a new King. I thought you had the Christmas songs.
No Christmas songs going on in here.
Wow. I have the Ace of Wands. So, yeah, this is a fire sign. Now, it's interesting with these timelines. When he said it coming from God, that's that Eight of Wands again. The stuff is always constantly on the move and rotating. Now, it could go both positive and negative. That's why it's so important for us to stay positive and keep our frequency high, because that does
Oh.
affect other densities.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. They're going to emphasize our words. They're really focusing on the words that come out of our mouth because their frequency and vibration.
Yeah.
That with the Ace of Swords, absolutely remember how you speak, not only to yourself, but to others, because the devil will take those and run with it for power and control.
Well,
In every density. So if you are cruel here, that ripple affects over to the other densities.
well, I'm trying to remember on some TV shows when I don't know if it was the Brady Bunch, but I wish I was never born. That ripples to the past.
Yeah.
Those kind of words.
Wow. So they're explaining to me that beyond the veil and all these other densities, these are contracts. So this life is contracted to another life and so on and so forth. So they work together. Wow.
So
Yeah, I
let's
know
hold all.
we talked before about if they would all merge together at the end when it was all finalized.
That would be so weird.
Go meet the rest of the million of us that exist.
Let's hold all questions, please.
Well,
We're
I think
back to 24.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you
I
haven't
think
seen
mine
the
will have a
movie,
party.
if you haven't seen the movie Adjustment Bureau, take a look at that. There's a lot of juicy details in that.
Mhm. Yeah, seen some of it, not all of it.
All right, I think we got that one. Moving on. Question. Do the people who claim to do Akashic record readings really have access to the Akashic records? Or are they simply reading the energy of the person?
They are doing the Akashic records, and it's really interesting.
Some.
Well, I mean, you're going to see good and ugly, but there is a method of going into the Akashic records.
Well, you forgot
agree
that.
with that, but I think there's only certain people that are gifted with that.
I'm sorry?
I agree with that, but I think there's only certain people gifted with it. Okay, let's say Jan or Nadia or Dennis, you guys wanted to get access to your Akashic record. Do you have that ability? I think internally we do, but it's granting access to it. I don't. But I think there's a whole lot of quote frauds out there. That's all. That's what I'm getting. There's some.
Yeah, there's a strategy or plan of how this gets done. This is strategy. People, you have to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But people, they are actually in the Akashic records. That's the world card. And that's the Empress. They are really going into the Akashic records.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the person. But
Right.
like that strategy card tells me you can't trust everybody.
Right.
You can't, but there are people who can go into the Akashic records and get your information, not just theirs.
I agree with that.
If you ask them
it's
to,
few.
Yeah.
I don't think they can just go in and get whatever information.
Permission
they want.
has to be given.
I think his second part of the question is the key. A person's energy is a library in itself. I think they have to have the key of the person to be able to access it. Do you know what I mean? Not their frequency or something.
Or a library card.
I don't think they're reading it from the person. It feels like when they read it from the record. If that makes sense. That's what I mean. The true ones.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if people in the chat or anyone here could do that. That wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
I could care less about something like that. But if it came to me, I'd be like, oh, wait. And then
Right.
I'd be like, I don't want to do that again. You know?
Yep.
No, I am interested in it. Have I thought to look into it? No, I don't think it's something in my cards,
At least not right now. We can only speak.
especially with my
where we're
past
at right
history. It might be juicy.
Oh, that's one of those blank chapters I get to fill in. I'll write it for you.
You know very well.
All right.
Mine is in the Akashic Records as Danielle Steele stories.
Oh, I thought Jen disappeared. Boom, bang.
Yep. Boom. Back.
Portal jumping again.
Yeah.
The leader of the fallen angel is named Samyaza. It also goes by other names, including Uza. In Spanish, USA is pronounced Uza. Is the USA purposely named after the leader of the fallen angel?
Is it USA or is it Estados Unidos?
It could
I
be
don't know.
Jujuba.
Bless you.
Welcome, thank you.
No, I mean in
Gesundheit.
Spanish it's Estados Unidos, States United. I've never seen USA as, but are they bad? Of course.
Yeah, some Yaza seems like just a little misinterpretation of the word. The intent, I understand the intent, but some Yaza, I think it's pronounced differently. Truly, like, that I know who he's talking about, but what I'm getting is that name isn't necessarily right. But yes, to his question, that's what I'm going to next. I'm sorry.
Gotta remember where that was.
Do you guys feel that there is a fallen angel in the United States?
I think there's essences all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they brought it with Freemasonry. I think they brought it with the monument.
I think there's something that almost this USA calls that evil person when we use that instead of the United States of America. I think there's a calling. That's what it feels like. It feels maybe not purposely, but when we say USA or type it out, maybe that's what we're calling on. It almost seems like a trick. Not that our intent isn't pure. It's just like how they use energy against us all the time.
So it's the initial, like ISIS.
Yeah, kind of like when you summon
An acronym.
Yeah, like you're summoning it unknowingly, if that makes sense.
Well,
Is Dragonfly 17 here?
Cards on this. Huh?
What?
Good.
I pulled cards to see if it was named after that fallen angel. It's not. The United States was divinely created. That's from the creator to make that contract for generations to come. The United States' original intention is done by the creator. Now, could somebody have come along and, of course, influenced it along the way? Because look what has happened to us. But the originality and its origins is divinely sent.
I agree. So, like for me, that USA, it seems like a summoning. Like it's they took that, they stole that. Like, oh, we're gonna make that our own. That's
well, technically, we're not United States of America. We're United States for America. They have manipulated it, but the original intent is divine.
But
because I was trying to check if Dragonfly 17 was here to check the gematria strength of USA, just those three letters, to see what energy or what comes out of that.
I get
If it's the same as Uza.
Hmm. Wow. Okay. With the United States in its current state, um, the term Uza, because remember, originally it was divine intention of creation. This is the state that it's under now. Death and the devil card.
Hijack, yeah, hijack.
It will fall.
Is that under? Yeah, it is going to anyway. But that's because using the three letters USA.
That's yeah.
So wow, so that's almost like spell casting when you're chanting USA at sports
Yeah,
events,
I'm saying it's like you're
Olympics,
summoning.
An
Yeah.
incantation kind of
Yeah.
thing.
incantation.
Wow. Now that tells me that it must fall in order to come back and start a new beginning. It will rise again, but it's not going to be like overnight. She's got to pay the price for the crap that she's done. And we're talking about the sneezy people, not the good
Right.
citizens.
Definite choose.
Right.
But it definitely will affect the good people because
Mm,
of how many tentacles are in everything we do.
yes. Yep.
It's been said the Galactic Federation intervened during World War II after the A bomb was dropped in Hiroshima, so it won't happen again. These are the same bombs being dropped today. Where's the question? I guess it's are these the same bombs being dropped today by Israel on Gaza?
Mm.
There might be some truth to that. See, I don't believe in a nuclear bomb. I don't believe that
Oh.
term.
No, but
Put the ego aside, but I want to say there's a yes to that. It's just they're not as powerful, but same technology. Call it a cousin. But I like, okay, when we see Hiroshima, it's devastating, but yet there were still trees standing. It's hard for me to fathom how a bomb that destroyed buildings, why is a tree sitting there and it still has some of its leaves? That's what I have a hard time understanding as far as I think they made the bomb really big and maybe it was a bunch of big bombs together. I think the, quote,
Cluster
nuclear
bomb.
or atomic bomb was just like Hitler, Wunderwaffe, the Wunderwaffe, the wonder weapon. They basically were like in a race to do it. I don't think they did it. I think they did it after the war. I don't think they did it with the war.
I'm just having a problem with the Galactic Federation intervened back
I didn't
then,
even touch that.
and I think they dismantled much of what was there. However, as we know,
I don't.
who the Israelis starting the war do have technology that we have not discovered yet. I think it's different.
And the only reason I could get the bomb thing is there is a spiritual context between what's going on in the world today of that bomb, and there is, we're being pushed down a time lane, and some people are trying to rush it, and that's just it.
I get the Galactic Federation didn't actually neutralize the nuclear portion of the bombs until after World War II.
Yeah, but I think this is some new things that nobody has seen yet from the Magnificent 12 signature.
Okay. So, according to the
Majestic
card, because I
12.
split this up into two different things, did the Galactic Federation intervene? They did, but not till later. That's in the future. They reversed it of what that bomb was capable of doing to prevent loss. And because of the numbers that are showing up on these are threes, and it looks like they probably did it within 3 months to 3 years after that bomb was dropped. They came in and said, "We're not doing this anymore. You're going to ruin your planet." Now, when it comes to the same bombs being dropped by Israel on Gaza, not the same thing. These are illusions. You're not seeing correct
It's like a
information.
cousin. It's like a cousin.
This is their secret weapons that they're using. It's not the same thing, though.
Would they be cluster bombs? That's what I'm getting.
I don't know. See, to me, I think maybe it's my understanding of bomb. So maybe I'm influencing that a little bit. To me, it's the same thing. It's just smaller, bigger. But this is 3D, so don't take mine.
I'm getting close.
That was
I'm
a straw.
getting yes on you, Dennis.
Wow. Yeah, I pulled a yes, and I also pulled the judgment card. So a lot of what you're being told is just to get your attention. That's all they're trying to do. There's so much more to it that we're just going to have to use our discernment when we see these stories
They just
happen.
wanted
You get a bomb. You get a bomb.
Yeah.
You get a bomb.
Well, if you guys ever studied which country has the most amount of nuclear bombs, it's between Israel and India.
Mm.
Yeah, they surpassed the United States after the Russian Accords of 80 something after Reagan.
Yeah, those two countries have
People
the
don't
most
realize
amount.
how powerful India is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Okay.
Are the Galactic Federation playing with the human mind by playing the savior role when it's convenient for them to do so? I don't get that the Galactic Federation is wanting the savior role.
No,
No.
but they do take orders from the divine.
They're keeping an arm's length. They can't get involved unless the creator orders them to do it. They cannot interfere with free will.
Hmm.
They don't want to be looked up as gods either.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to be worshipped.
No, not at all.
Wow. No, their Galactic Federation, they're there to set boundaries to make sure that we're protected under certain orders. This is protection. That's move out of troubled waters to get your crap together. We'll help and guide you to do it. But they are not taking a savior role. Absolutely not.
I think what they're doing is preventing any other negative energy to come in. So basically, the battle is between humankind.
Yeah.
Well, they are also helping with the cleaning out underground too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also off-worlding crap that
They
began
helped
down there.
come in and remove the Dracos and the Matras off
Yeah.
of the planet.
Is there a reason the new generation of kids don't eat food like we do? Only certain things they will eat. Very picky.
Because of the poison they've put in it.
Yeah.
It is.
And they put sugar. Like if you cook at home, I don't think when you're making dinner you put sugar in your food. But every piece of making fast food has sugar, fructose, high fructose corn syrup, everything that causes you to want more of it.
Yeah, I cook from scratch because when I was growing up, we ate out of, if we didn't grow it, we didn't eat it. So we ate directly out of the garden and raised our own animals. It didn't have the hormones and all that stuff. These kids today, even if I cook from scratch, you still have to buy the things from the stores and they're still injected with all that stuff. And I don't care how from scratch you make it, they're still picky and won't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be laced with something.
Put a vegetable on the plate.
Well, you'd be surprised that some kids
They
like
vegetables, but it's a certain way.
Yeah, mine did until he became like 12, 13. Then he became super, super picky.
So I can't eat a raw carrot. I can eat one cooked. I don't
then the napkins get a little bit bigger when you're a teenager.
The napkins get a little bit bigger or the dog gets fatter.
Did the Queen Elizabeth and her descendants originate from the Muhammad lineage, making them Muslims?
I think
Christians, by the way.
you're talking about that story where one of the queens had a best friend who was Muslim.
I don't
I
know.
have no idea.
There's
Yeah.
something to it. I don't think he's wrong. It's not a straight yes though.
There's more to it, yes.
Yeah, this. I maybe descendants isn't the right thing. This feels like partnership, not.
Well, I don't know which Elizabeth it was.
Blood came later.
Yeah, there's a story of the queen falling in love with this Muslim and teaching her the Islamic ways. But I don't think she had a lineage to it.
Yeah.
Unless she had an illegitimate child.
I think this comes to fruition through the East Indian Trading Company. That was the crown. The crown eventually tried to monopolize that whole whatever came in and out, but it's there's partnership. Blood comes later. This is more Jen. I don't think
after she passed away.
If this is from lineage from Muhammad, it feels. I mean, at best, a stretch cousin.
And there is a contract involved, but it came crashing down. It got destroyed.
Yeah, after she passed away and left him an inheritance, they denied him and kicked him out of England.
It's interesting because here's your queen, and this is making a contract. You see the emperor's holding a contract, like a decree of what is. So there is something to it, but I'm not getting the lineage that it went on any further. The sun card is there, but the tower, that means great change came. The tower, it ended like immediately. It's not allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this almost a it feels like an organization I just got blood in, blood out. In other words, this was more of a strategic. It's not what we're looking at. Blood. It just feels blood in, blood out, like a gang, like monopolize their.
Well, we know that when was the true queen taken out of the picture in this family that came in?
Generations ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
And the way I understand it, there really isn't a bloodline after Muhammad. I think there was a kid or an illegitimate kid or two through there, but died.
Why would there be an illegitimate kid? He had a plethora of wives. You're telling me he never had children?
No. I'm saying it doesn't feel like those bloodlines have survived. But I think there was illegitimate children in there. Yeah, he could have had any wife he wanted. I understand that. But also, when you're doing show, when you're hey, I'm Muhammad, you're waging wars for God. I'm sorry, there's an ego in there. Man steps in and goes, well, maybe I could just taste that little cake over there and not marry it. Just saying, he's a man.
I mean, if he had to, this was one of my problems because I was like, okay, wives. Oh, God said you can have 4 wives, but there are stipulations that make it supposedly it impossible for you to have 4 wives.
Right, but it was okay. It was okay for Muhammad. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
and
of course,
a few others.
Hey, I'm writing the book. I have a problem with that too.
Yeah, I agree.
But what they said was, this is what I heard. It wasn't wives as to sleep with them, but it was wives that would support them because they had lost their husbands. So it's almost like taking care of a widow who had children.
You think you're right?
That's Yeah, but that was the point of it, because what he did was he had the youngest wife, but he never touched her till she became of age,
Right.
and that was his closest wife.
But
But other than that, it was to take care of them.
You know, I mean, you can make a woman respectable after that with marrying her, but at the same time, he got rid of adoption in many senses of the word. So that's hard for me to follow between the two of them. You know, you could adopt some children because of a death in a family, but then he got rid of that somewhere near the end of his. I remember reading this near the end of his life, and it was shocking to the community at the time. I remember reading this. This was back when we were doing the Dome of the Rock. Like all of a sudden, like 180 on adoption. Like what happened? Yeah, there was something to that though.
Yeah, and also the 4 wives have to be equally treated. So that's why they said they made it. There was no favoritism, and that's why it was difficult. So if I bought her a car, I have to get all 3 of them a car. If I did this, all of them, the other 3. So to make it fair, that's why they made it difficult with the stipulations. I just made his life difficult so he wouldn't think of another one. But if one was tough, how would 4 be?
Honestly, let's be honest.
So is that the trick?
You've been married. I'm talking about a man here. If you've been married, what makes you think, oh, it gets easier after the second wife and third wife and fourth wife? No, thanks.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Even
and I'll tell you what I've seen. I've seen after he passes, it's the children of those wives who suffer.
Right. Right, because technically they aren't entitled to certain things. You know, I mean, in the old days, and it may even be today, but most Muslim women aren't entitled to the spoils of their husband. You know, I mean, you have to be a very special person politically, not religiously, politically for that to happen. That's true. That's true in the Indian countries, not just Muslim countries, but you know, that's why. The wives, if you married someone like the prophet, it was over after that. You weren't entitled to anything. You know, there's stories about that. Even some of the beloved, what do you call them, generals or armies and everything like that. Once they died, it was like, nope, see it. Women, children were a casualty at best.
Well, maybe that's why he decided to do that and bring them into his group to take care of that. I don't know. I'm just doing out of what I've heard. That's it.
Okay.
Michael, you have something to say?
Sure. I did, but I don't anymore.
Well, it's really, I don't know what's with the mic, but it's really very low to hear.
Okay. Jay in the chat, there will be no talking about 2 days without caffeine. Okay, me and you.
Oh,
Me and you.
don't poke
No
Jay.
such
Don't
thing.
poke Jay. That's
No
not
such
good.
thing. Okay.
Poking,
You can.
poking.
The internet stuff's okay. Don't mess with the caffeine, dude. Watching you.
Now you're talking blasphemy, Jules.
Here you go, Nadia. Putting
There you go.
aside religious beliefs, looking at you, Nadia. What energy are Muslim practitioners calling upon unknowingly when they circle the Kaaba?
We've talked about this, and
Oh, this is Nadia. Okay.
no, he's just looking at me. I know. What can I say? The arrogant perv. You can look.
Yes, I know.
Look all you want, DHP.
AP.
Okay, putting aside the religious beliefs, yes, exactly, because there is no religious belief. We believe in faith, but we will talk about that because I don't think they know that they are a battery.
Yeah, there's definitely an energy that's circling the Kaaba. I think if they go the other way too, there's a different type of energy.
Yes.
Well, we talked about, you know,
yeah,
the energy changing, whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise, that it would change. We've talked
They are
about
going
that before.
counterclockwise, correct?
They go
Bullshit.
counterclockwise right now.
They are clockwise right now?
Counterclockwise, yeah.
Yeah, they are counterclockwise.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of getting just this fact that it's not giving me a whole lot, but something or someone gets this energy.
Okay.
And there's
The
like
rotation of the
there's
Earth
a wall
is
right there. There's a wall
Okay.
right there. Like can't go no
The
further.
rotation of the Earth is counterclockwise.
Hmm.
Time is clockwise. So they're probably helping the Earth circle.
Does that have something to do with the electromagnetic field? I'm just curious if that would
There you
change.
go.
It is. There is something what we were talking about. There is something underneath the Kaaba. It's Stargate.
Yeah.
And I think the counterclockwise is helping. Okay, so what we say when you go counterclockwise, you're eliminating. However, if you use the left arm,
Right.
it's keeping it down.
Yeah.
So I think if they stop doing that, a Stargate's gonna open.
Wow.
Can you check?
Are they aware of this though when they're doing it?
Probably people now know.
Yeah.
Maybe people from the past, yes, because it has something to do with that stone that is there,
Mm-hmm.
something to do with what's beneath it. Very powerful energy beneath it.
Yep. Let's see.
And it's almost like they think it's a ritual? But I don't think the people now know what it's for.
Well, okay.
They will now.
We're definitely on to something when it comes. Now, this is carefully and strategically done, though.
Mm-hmm.
They do this certain times of the year.
There's a couple things to this. Go ahead.
Yeah, many don't know what they're doing. They're just doing it because they're told to do it. So
There's
it's
more to it.
interesting.
Oh yeah.
But absolutely, the Stargate, there is something beneath that stone that they can activate.
I actually, all right, this will be unpopular, but
Wonder if that opens up to multiple worlds.
okay.
It does.
Yeah. See, okay, one of the things I've gotten before, and I'm just getting it again now, that and this won't be popular, so I apologize. But the Kaaba and the stone can represent Cain, and the stone that killed Abel, or the Kaaba represents Abel, unknowingly. Now, with that being said, is that true? I get a yes. We don't know the original intent of the Kaaba because the Kaaba was there before the religion. It's always been there. Most even think it was built by Adam. And I had received one time that was actually Abel's burial, and the stone was a mockery. Now, with that being said, I know that's not popular, but there's a truth to that, and I get a straight yes on it. And I've pushed aside the ego on it. Now, that part is unknowing.
Right.
I think there's always a positive and negative, even with any religion. Remember, we're talking about religion here, not God. We're talking
The man-made stuff.
Yes.
Exactly. But they said that stone came from the skies.
Right.
And
Right.
there were people who tried to steal it.
Right, but you don't worship idols. That's an idol. You see what I'm saying? They make that an idol. You have to go once a year or once in your lifetime and touch and kiss that stone. That's an idol. Okay, that goes against everything that they believe. And yet that's there. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, that's just it. That is the only idol in the religion, but they don't consider it an idol. What do you call it? An idol. So
I don't think it's considered an idol. I think it's considered, it fell from the sky. Maybe it's a gift from the God. I don't think they're sitting there saying this is God and we're worshiping him.
No,
Now,
I agree
what was
with
the
that.
purpose of that land? It could have been where Cain killed Abel. There is a significance because Abraham tried finishing it. Muhammad tried finishing. What's the point? There was no wall. There was no doors. There wasn't anything like that. But
and
what is the
this
point
thing
of
is
the
not
pilgrimage to go there? It's
right.
it's
This
not
thing is
to
not
worship an idol.
megalithic. Right. This thing
Mhm.
is not megalithic by any means. The
Mm-hmm.
stones aren't inconceivably large and put together. They could easily be put together by man currently today. In fact, that was rebuilt several times within the last 700 years. I think it's been rebuilt 3 times. But
Mhm.
Right.
before that, it was there. It's always been there. And they've rebuilt it several times. That's why it's like a gray stone. It almost looks like a brick and mortar stone.
Mhm.
It's really not like granite, like you see the pyramids. This is completely out of place. I think it's much older than time, but I think there are also reasons that the dark and the light use it for their own purposes. You know,
Ladies and gentlemen, that was in stereo. Both. Yeah, I know. Not many people know what it looks like without that black material around it anyway. But it is a ritual. It is a pilgrimage. It is one of the 5 pillars that you have to perform.
Mm.
But it's probably like, I'm tired, you go reset the battery. Everybody has to do it to keep the battery going. But what would happen if it stopped? That's
Well, true.
what we don't want. I mean, let's just say like this. Let's say also it has been maybe speculated, I'll say speculated, that one of Metatron's cubes is under there.
Yeah.
And that's what's preventing that from unraveling. We don't know.
True.
Hmm.
Is Enoch a saint or archangel now? Enoch is now Metatron, the archangel Metatron. That's who Enoch is now. Now, we also pulled cards and believe that Enoch will return as one of the witnesses, but it will probably be in his original state of Enoch when he was here.
So, oh, really? He won't come in as Metatron?
I don't think that he comes in as an archangel because they have to die in the street. So I don't think you could kill an archangel. So he would probably return as his physical state when he was here as Enoch.
Okay, then I have a question. Will
Mhm.
he come as a fractal of who he was?
Like a little bit of both, huh?
Yes. What do you think? What say you, Michael? Will you come as a fractal?
You're muted.
He's muted.
Well, what kind? Who are you?
Is he frozen too? Well, I guess it's not for him to tell us what he's going to come back as.
Now, can you hear me now?
There you
Can hear
go.
me now? Fractal, yes. Me, no. I am not Enoch. I am not.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I get confused.
Yeah,
Oh, King
definitely
Kong's here.
fractal. Fractal.
What say you? What say you,
Fling it.
poop flinger?
Fling it, fling it. Can you
I
hear
think
me now?
whatever is not out there of him will fully be used. But at the same time, I think just like kind of like the 144,000, I think they carry, well, more than that, carry a DNA code for Yeshua in many senses. Okay.
Mm.
In
Okay.
other words,
I
there's more
think
to it.
if there's a fractal out there here on Earth, it will be called at the time when they witness. And that's all. I think sometimes we host these things and they're hidden within man. You
Right.
know, I mean, it's hidden in a lot of men. So they just can't go down and go here, or women, you know what I mean? Mankind. They're everywhere.
Yes. But since he hasn't, can you guys hear me? I'm
No,
freezing over here.
no, can't hear you.
Since he did not technically pass away, can he incarnate to come here during this time, or incarnated already?
Yeah, I think he's here, but a lot of this feels like a walk-in, not a death, just a boom, I'm here.
But I don't think it's like starting out as a a young one. I
No.
don't think you have to go through a whole lifetime.
No, I
He's
think the major part of it is like a walk-in at the time. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I'm putting a yes on that.
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
thinking it's
Interesting.
also
Whoever's carrying the fractal or
Hope it
whoever
doesn't.
is deemed, I think that person isn't necessarily, we look at that person as they're preaching, they preach, and we assume that that person is someone of God or a preacher. I think it may be far from that. It may be just an average person,
right.
I mean, because otherwise, could the darkness influence that? Yeah. So just to step in and walk in, I think they're both walk-ins, Elijah and
I'm
well,
laughing at
it's
spirit.
like it's like Elijah that walked into
John.
John the Baptist.
Yeah.
It's the
So
spirit.
this is definitely a walk-in, but they're not going to tell me anymore. Don't worry, that's our strategy.
Mm.
I'm like, we're not telling you.
We got this.
Yep.
I'm
Moving
sorry.
along.
Good.
In Greek, the word watcher is Grigori. Is this the origin of the Gregorian calendar, making it mean the watcher's calendar?
No, I think there was a person,
Oh,
but I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm getting a yes.
so are we an actual? I don't.
I get a yes on
I
that.
think-
Well, they
Play
changed
on-
our time frame, so yeah.
I think they made up the person, the Gregorian that supposedly came up with the calendar. I think
No, I'm
Wow.
thinking
there was a person that
maybe
came
this
up,
was a
like
countdown.
Julian, the Julian calendar. He came up with the calendar. Same with the
Julian.
Gregorian.
Well, wasn't Julian calendar Julius Caesar?
Well, yes, but
Well,
don't forget there was a number of Julians over the lifetime. You could look them in as Caesar, but there was a lot of scholars back then. Julian was a very prominent name, really was.
Julian Lennon.
So we'll just tell him he's just a salad then.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, look how many people are named Muhammad, Tom, John. At some point, you like with Jesus, it was
Adam.
Jesus of Joseph or Jesus of Nazareth.
Yeah.
Surname.
Did I tell you what the number one name in Ireland is for a boy?
Sean.
No. The most popular name out there in Ireland is Mohammed.
I'm not
Interesting. Yeah, but it's
Um,
check it out. It is.
I'm curious to know if the people that made Gregorian calendars also made the Julian calendar to confuse us even more.
I want to say you're right on that.
Yeah, I'm
Because
getting a yes on that myself.
there's an ace, and you talk about like a Julius Caesar role, the emperor, and this is the thief. They're doing all of this. They did them both.
This is Chew.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what was the purpose? I mean, what changed from Julian to Gregorian? What did they just shorten the months? Did they shorten the days?
Strategy.
Was anything different from the calendars? Go ahead, Jen.
To destroy the spirituality. There's something about, so we're not supposed to be on either one of those calendars, I don't think. Well, technically, I mean, if we're under our holy creator, we're beyond space and time, or at least should be.
Right.
My biggest problem is I still don't understand how the calendars went down to 0 and then went back up. I mean, I'd be terrified at 1. Happy New Year! It's 0. I just don't understand how we were counting down and what made 0 0. That's all.
No, I agree with you. BC, AD, Anno Domini. I agree. It makes no sense. How did it become a point of reference? Because it's technically based on the life of Jesus, 0.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, exactly, yeah.
So, but where did that? Oh, time starts now.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. I agree with Naughty on that. I've never understood. Like, okay, before Jesus came, Where were they sitting there going, "Hey, what year is this? Oh, it's 10 years before the Savior comes." No,
Yeah.
you know,
I don't think any,
Something big is happening.
yeah, in the Old Testament, they didn't sit around going, we're BC.
right,
He's coming, but we BC. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
technically the only
What BC represents? We don't know. It's going to happen when 0 comes
the only three societies
on
that
Christmas.
was,
Even let's just figure that out.
the Judean or Abrahamic religions, that would include the Muslims. They had a calendar also. The Mayan and the Hindus, they're
Yeah.
the ones that actually had the calendars,
Mhm.
and you can kind of sync them if you want, but they were ones counting, like, what's the Jewish calendar, 50, 59 or 58, 87, whatever we're at.
57 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
57, 80 something.
Right.
Yeah, Muslims have their
Uh,
own calendar too.
But yeah, all three of those are
Gregorian,
similar, though, so you know. I mean, you can pick a point of reference, and they're not off by much. They really
Right.
aren't.
But then you have Mayan calendar.
Well, I said
Now
Mayan.
that they follow, huh?
I said Mayan. Mayan is one of the first to really keep a calendar active. The
Mhm.
Jewish and Abrahamic religions, they kept that as a form of faith with the religion. The Mayans just counted. And same with the Hindu religions, they just counted. They picked a time. And that
Well,
time was
everything with the
dictated by
Jewish
their gods.
people, it's more about the moon phases because of feast days. That's kind of how they keep a calendar of they use astrology.
Right. But
Because
they
it
can't
depends on,
tell you when Adam was truly on the earth.
right. Yeah.
That's just it. It's based on, hey, man. Sorry, hold on. We're getting into something bad here. Hang on.
All right, Michael, go ahead. He's snoring over there. He passed a day on the calendar.
Gregorian chants, is there something to the songs?
Yep. I already pulled on this. I was doing it while everybody was talking. Yep. This reverses energy. That's death card and the devil.
Ooh. This is one of the songs I don't know. What is a Gregorian chant? I've never heard of something like that.
Ever heard the Gregorian chant? They're
Is
like
there one?
a group of men dressed in robes, and they start singing.
Named Greg.
Yeah, they're all named Greg.
You want Oreos?
You want Oreos? What?
Is that what you were singing? Oreos?
I need milk.
Oh, okay. So that you're talking about those.
Oh, I thought that was Big Head. I'm sorry.
No, okay.
Okay, I just
Got a
never
hold
heard.
of this. What is this? This is an old vintage tie tack. There was a lid.
Oh, not anymore.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Magic.
I didn't do it.
It's magic. Wait, he found it. That's what I don't understand. He found it somewhere.
You didn't hide it well enough.
He's a magician. I call him Houdini. That's all I can tell you.
Okay. Number 13. According to my research, the 0 point is when the true magic happens. Are we all reaching the 0 point every day but don't even know it because we are trained not to see it?
According to your research,
Yeah, to me,
the
0
0
point would be, okay, like when I'm in prayer. Sometimes that prayer is actual silence, nothing. A calm within myself. To me, that's when I get my downloads. To me, that's when I all of a sudden it's like bam, 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 they start coming. That would be 0 point for me. I don't know what he truly means by what he's saying there. So I'm just going by what I'm interpreting. Sorry.
I don't know what 0 point is, but I feel that my downloads are the strongest when I'm with you guys or people of the same density.
Well, yeah, without a doubt, when we're together, we magnify. But when I'm inside,
I mean, that's why I find it so fun. Yeah. That's why I find it so fun that these downloads keep coming down as we're all And I'm sorry, but I keep freezing. I don't know if you guys are having problems on your side, but I am.
I got a
If you
jacket
need
on.
to,
But
if you need to have me send you a blanket, I will. Just let me know.
see, I'm actually rolling up my sleeves on my jacket. But
I
yeah,
am too, but I mean, I'm looking at my picture and I'm going, whatever, and you guys are all talking over there.
Yeah, you're the only one that's a little fuzzy.
are we actually
Yeah.
talking about magic here, though? Is that the possibility? Is this magic or mysticism? Or is it, what's he saying here?
Yeah, I'm not
Magic
getting
doesn't
that.
have to be bad.
Well, you're on to something, DHP, about there's a point. This has to do with spirituality. We are meeting that. That's a gift and contract. We are doing it, especially as we ascend, but unfortunately, no one's catching them. They're hoodwinked and this is lost. You're missing it. Most people are missing out on this because they're not paying attention. I agree that it's one of the most heightened times that we have for our spirituality and Christ consciousness. I think it
I get
happens a
that.
lot during meditations.
Yeah.
Or when
Or
you're
just walking in nature.
very close with the creator or Mother Gaia or something like that. Those are those points.
Yeah.
You can just feel the energy change.
And I think that's what some refer to as mysticism, Christian mysticism, Gnostic
Yeah.
mysticism. I think when you're at the point of nothing, if you're concentrating on something, your mind's not open or something like that. It seems to me like when I get these things, I'm very empty, but I'm holding that consciously. What's the old saying? If you seek something, you always be seeking it. You know, sometimes it comes to you, and it seems like everything comes to us. But is it coming to you, or are you just becoming one with your soul,
Right.
your creator, something else? That's all.
When you go down one rabbit hole, you'll find another.
Mhm.
All right. Moving on to guess who has
I
the next
also
one?
probably will agree that when you're seeking something, and then all of a sudden you open up, for example, YouTube, and it's right there what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I think that's zero.
Number 12. The bull is a representation of Baal. And the Spanish bull is toro. And it sounds similar to Torah. Is Torah a representation of Baal?
Straight yes. The Torah mentions Baal several times within in the book of Moses. It's highlighted several times.
Well, we talked about Moses, but
Yeah.
even when they decided to melt all their gold to make a golden bull or golden
Golden
calf.
calf.
And there also is they make a sacrifice. This is in the Bible. They make a sacrifice to the Lord Moses and Abraham, and they send another calf out into the desert for Baal. That's in the Bible. That's in the Bible.
Yes, actually, I have it. I believe it's in Ezekiel.
No, I think it's told more than once. It may be in two spots, but yeah.
It's no, when we were doing the angels.
Right, but so why the two offerings? My question. Why the two offerings?
Would the one they send out into the desert be a red heifer?
Give me a minute.
Aren't they looking for another red heifer now?
They have the
No, they're looking for a white one, I thought.
I thought it's red.
No, it's red. It's red.
It's red for
Oh,
the
Yeah,
Jewish.
they were actually sent over and received. There was two of them, but of six. Shocking number. There's six.
Yeah, but that's
To the Native
amazing.
Americans,
I'm
it's white.
getting a yes on that, Dennis. I don't know why that red is meaning something.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
It just feels a man though. It feels feels.
Are you guys thinking red is for the Baal and white is for the
I don't know.
Torah? Because
Well,
I heard that
white.
they're looking for 100%
don't-
pure white.
I don't remember anything in the scriptures representing the white bull, but
Let's
I
see,
know
Yeah.
that in Native American culture they were looking for
Yeah,
a
the
white
buffalo woman.
buffalo.
Right.
Yeah, the white buffalo.
Yeah.
What are you getting, Jen?
Well,
Oh, if I rip this page out.
it's quite interesting with the Torah. I got an ace. There's more to this than
Yeah.
that, because these are all swords. The Knight of Swords. This is strategically done. So I think we're getting into another part of man-made of what they
Yep.
wanted it to
I was
be.
just going to say man of man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Actually, I did
it's
say
like a
that.
twisting, strategic
Mm.
twisting of words. When the Torah was written.
I'll ask something right now pertaining right to this. When Noah came, or when Moses came down and he threw the quote laws against the bull, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that's when they rewrote some of these quote laws. They took a liberty. In other
Sure
words,
makes
you know, like I said the
Wow.
other day, how to wipe your ass.
pulled the base card. That's
That's
Deep
heavy
state.
toilet paper.
Yep.
Okay, I found it.
You know, but I mean,
It was in Azazel, actually. They would sacrifice or send a goat into the desert to sacrifice for Azazel their sins. They would fill this goat with sins and send it to the desert for his sacrifice. It wasn't Baal.
no, but
a sacrifice to Azazel, the fallen
it's
angel.
actually written as Baal in the Bible, and
Yeah.
Baal was mentioned several times within the Torah itself. I think this is also a thing of you say Azazel, I say Azazel. I think it's going to be doesn't matter.
Yeah,
the name,
it's a
the same
pronunciation.
But it was a
Yeah.
goat, not a. I mean, and here it's a goat, not a bull.
Right.
I knew I had something with that, but I knew. Well, we'll figure this out. But Jen, I wonder if it's in that
If you say
book
a
of
goat,
Enoch.
if you say a goat, most of them are always calves or rams or lambs. Why
Mhm.
a goat? Why a goat out of nowhere? A goat.
The only
Oh.
time I've ever done references to goats is if you look in Revelation, they talk about separating the lambs from the goats.
Right. Yeah, that seems completely out of place to me. It really does.
Well,
It doesn't
I
even
wonder.
feel, I'm like projecting it fully. It doesn't feel right.
Hmm.
Okay,
That's just me.
I'm wondering. I'm just curious, Jen, on that list that Enoch did write about their punishment and all that. If it does say something with Baal and the bull.
Hmm.
To my knowledge, I don't remember that. That doesn't mean it's not there.
Well, I have a picture of it.
If we're dealing with the fallen, who is the fallen? Who is the main? Who is he talking about? Because there's a bunch of angels that are talked about, and in some cases, Uriel is mentioned in for the fallen angels because he was technically the guard over the hell and heaven. So sometimes they name Uriel, but it's actually just to say that he was the one over them, in charge of them. There's some misrepresentations, I think. I just feel that.
I don't see
hey, guys,
anything.
I'm sorry.
I'm curious to know if it's a translation issue because if they say calf, do they mean bull?
Hey, I'm gonna have to run, guys. We have a dinner I forgot about. She told me this morning and it's gone. But anyway, I got to get a quick shower and everything, so I apologize.
That's all right.
was texting
I've got a
me.
private reading too, so
Okay.
Oh, what time is it now?
Thanks, everyone. Love everybody. Thank you. I apologize. Sorry I didn't.
Have a nice
okay.
weekend, Jay.
Hey guys.
I think Michael already left.
Yeah, he's like, you all talking too much.
I'm trying to look for those pictures I said. Here we go. Let's see. Does it have Baal? I don't even know how many more questions. There he is.
Got 11 still starred.
You got 11 still
We have
started?
11 starred, yes. When I cut them
Mm.
off. That's not to say that there aren't any more after that, but where did we leave Joe?
He had to leave.
He had to go, and I have a private reading that I'm going to get ready to do too.
Okay, I can do this if you all, whenever, want to step away. I'll just stay on and finish the questions
Okay.
because I don't want to leave any out.
Yeah.
I understand.
Oh, we'll do real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go.
Okay, well, you can keep elaborating if you like. Are all archangels put in tempting situations like the Watchers when they took wives on earth to see if they'll sink or swim?
Oh, you're saying if they were tempted by God? No, he didn't know they were
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah, I'm not getting a yes on that. No.
Yeah, no, they actually what is it, thick in the firmament, or God did not know what was going on when they did that? Is that true, guys?
Well, I believe the angels and archangels all have free will as well.
Yeah, they do. That's what I believe.
So I don't think God has to tempt them at all. I think they tempt themselves.
Yep.
Mhm.
All
All
right.
right. 11.
No,
Um,
10.
10.
No, what? Yeah,
Oh, you
more?
have a shine on your forehead.
Well, thank you.
It's it moved over. It was in your middle eye, third eye. There it is. Oh, a little more. To the left. To the right turn, Clyde. I don't know where it went. Okay. Here we go. 10. I don't know how to count. Remember, mathing's not good for me.
No, we don't like math. Nope.
Well, you've got enough toes, and they're out there in the open.
Yeah.
Does your new angel, or do your new angels, or no, does your new angel's name begin with a D?
I don't know. He left.
Rocco. Well, you have to bring that one back up. I can't answer that one.
Yeah.
Okay, DHP. I wonder if some of us were deceived to come here. There's deception even at the highest of levels.
I still lean on free will. It was our choice.
Yeah, me too.
Do you know that there were souls that really wanted to come down and they couldn't? So we were the
Well,
lucky
that
ones to
you,
come
you
down
can
and do
blame me.
it.
You can blame me. I just took the walk-in thing.
Who's blaming
they
you for
said-
everything?
Well,
As soon as they said walk-in, I said, "I'm here."
no, they said, King, you went down too many times. And he goes, hey, I'll make a deal with you. You take the first half of life, I'll take the second half of life.
You
I
just
like
never left. That's all there is to it.
The revolving door.
I like life
Uh-huh.
so much.
Yeah, no.
All right.
We feel it was a deception because what we ask as learning, we don't know what the learning is. So for us, it feels like a deception.
I don't remember anybody telling me my bones would hurt this bad.
Number 8 is my brother and my best friend that died, my guest as walk-ins.
My brother and my best friend that died.
I think it's
So your
my
brother
guest.
died and your best friend died?
And no, I'm thinking
might-
it's his brother who is also his best friend that died.
Oh, okay. Her brother, which is her best friend.
Yeah, I would say put a comma between the first brother and between and. Is my brother and my best friend that died my guest as walk-ins. My guest. Or is it my guest or my guest is walk-in?
I think Jen's going to answer that one because Spirit might understand that better.
No. Nope. There's no walk in there. That's being left out. Nope. No, I don't get that at all.
I don't understand it.
Joe, was my past lives always had to do with military? Were his past lives
Well, there's
always
probably
having to do with
multiples.
military?
There's normally a pattern there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, yeah, I can, well, because we don't know how many past lives
Soon-
we've had, but
There
let's
was always
see.
conflict.
That's funny.
I can say yes to that.
Well, it's funny because as soon as that question came up, my head became a bobblehead. I'm going,
Yeah, I would say yes to that. I get a strong yes to that. Not
Mhm.
all, but a majority
Hmm.
of your past lives will deal with a certain.
Well, it was always something to do with fighting, even if it wasn't military.
Yeah, me fighting
Yeah,
with
you've got,
bees. Me
there
fighting with
are other things that you have done. Like some of them, you were more about just raising a family. It wasn't really about military. Okay. So some lives were just about family. Wow. Okay. The justice card comes in. So I think you kind of had an equal balance of lives that were military, but then you've got other things too. But if it's kind of like you feel like it's in your blood, that would make sense. Okay. Yeah. Wow. All right. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. That's a military card. Yeah. There's a pattern there.
DHP would like to know why.
Right.
I answered that for him before
Why? We don't know, honey. We just don't
because
know.
we said so.
Moonchild, is Johann the Revelator still alive? Yes. Seems I recall a teaching stating Yeshua told him he would not see death until his second coming. In the cobwebs of your mind.
Of her mind.
Does that mean he's still on the island of Patmos?
No, John the Baptist. Oh no, John the Revelator.
Revelator.
Okay, John the Revealer. Okay. John the
Who is
Revealer.
John the Revealer? Is he the one who wrote the beginning of the Revelations?
Yeah, Revelation. Yeah.
The revelation. When Jesus showed him, John's the one that was shown and wrote it down. Because he was exiled out onto the island of
Yes.
Patmos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly. Now look at my third eye.
supposedly.
Allegedly.
Ooh, you're glowing.
My third
Yeah,
eye.
I know. Look
is
at that.
glowing.
He has an eye on his eye.
I am.
That's interesting.
That's a candle.
Wow, they spit out some big dog cards on that one. No, John the Revelator is with the Creator. Strength card beyond the veil. So maybe John was another one of those that was taken like Elijah and Enoch. I don't know.
Could very well be. There's no mention of where they buried him.
Ooh.
Yeah. If he was found worthy to be taken, and then John comes back when Yeshua does, kind of thing. It's hard to tell.
So he too did not die?
Well, that's what I'm thinking because there's no mention of him fasting.
Yeah, it's not mentioned in Revelation. He was just shown what was going to happen, and then when Yeshua returned, then John would experience death. So maybe John was taken in the spirit when shown revelation. He wrote it and then returned to the Creator, just like Elijah and Enoch.
So now we have 3.
Oh, I'm sure there are a lot more. than
It's hard to
3.
tell because we know that everything's been flipped upside down, stolen from us. It's hard to tell how many there are. There could be more.
Oh, yeah, I think John the Baptist could have been another one, but he lost his head over it.
Mm.
Question: were the birds talking to me yesterday, and was there a message? I'm not getting a yes.
I'm just feeling happy.
Some cards are spitting out here. Okay. Well, apparently, something about generations. That you should get really, really excited because this is for generations. I finally moved out of troubled water. So I don't know what that means. Let's see. This is about battling for a fresh new start. That the battle's over? Because that's the final card to let you know that there's no more battling spiritually for generations. That's what Spirit says.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I had that happy feeling. I just felt happy all over.
I just
Happy.
got basically
Happy.
that they weren't really talking to you, but the message, there was that message there. So I don't know. All right, next, Dragonfly. What advice can my
Guides.
guides
I would say
give
guides.
me the fluids give me to help your son that moved
The
in
heck
with
is going on?
what, Nadia?
Nothing. I'm just getting a little aggravated over here.
Why? Read my voice.
Because not only is this messed up, but my iPad is very fuzzy that I can't even read what you're saying.
Shall I go slower?
No, it's not you. It's me.
Okay, what advice can my guides give me to help my son that moved in with us?
Okay. Your guides are saying set boundaries with this child, even though he's an adult. That means set boundaries. Do not let him trick you with money. Okay. Yeah, you can be the mama bear, but don't let him wear you down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't poke the bear.
Yeah, don't poke the bear. Not the mama bear.
All right.
Oh.
Are we all angels and don't know it yet? Is that what really is happening? We are starting to remember. I don't know if we are all
I don't know about angels, but lighted
Creation
souls.
of the Creator. We were made in their image.
And yes. Yeah, and we're remembering because we are stepping out of the matrix.
Yeah, I'm not getting angels. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't qualify to go back to being an angel or become an angel when we go there, because the Wheel of Fortune says we can ultimately change, but that's not for everybody. I think it really just depends. If that's
Yeah.
something that you want and desire to manifest, I'm sure the creator could, but it's not for everybody, because that Knight of Cups is like, tread lightly. That's not something you may want to do. So some yes, some no.
I agree. Jules, did we clear our property and were they happy with our offering?
Okay.
I get a soft yes to both.
Mm.
I don't know. There's still
Oh.
something there.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Yes, they were. And these are shamans. Very pleased. They declare victory. So, yes. Very nice.
Okay, that was it of the
Oh, God.
stars. I'm going through and making sure there isn't any more left in the chat after we cut them off. And I'm not seeing
I
it.
think my internet's wanting to crap out on me.
Really? You can't do that. Manifest it.
So is it affecting you guys too, or just me?
What?
Yeah, it's this hot spot, Nadia.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's
Then
getting
how about if I
hot.
portal?
You portal. You go portal outside of
Yeah,
I'm gonna
if
shut
you
mine.
can.
All right. I'm shutting down here so we don't overcook the portal. Bye, guys.
All right.
Bah. Yeah, I
Well,
gotta
I'm not.
run, got a reading, gotta go cleanse
Yeah,
some cards. It was
okay.
great. Thank you, Michael.
No problemos. Same time next week. I'll be
Yep,
on
that's
Sunday at 2,
okay.
and you'll be on Monday morning, right? At 10
On
that
Monday
time?
morning, yep. Well, Monday afternoon, I'm doing a 1 o'clock. So
Yeah.
that is the plan.
All right. We can do this
Go
again. Like
enjoy your weekend.
you do the Wednesday next week, I do the Friday. Is that all right?
Sure. Yeah,
All right.
that works. Totally
Okie
works
dokie.
for me. We'll keep
All right,
poking Enoch
bueno.
around a little bit.
All right. Love and light
All
to
right.
all. We will
Yep.
see you then.
All right. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.